Hello crafty friends, welcome to another Heat Embossing 101 video. In our previous video we looked at the basics of heat embossing, focusing on adding embossing ink with stamps. In today's video we're going to look at different ways of using embossing ink because heat embossing is great for more than just stamping. So in front of me here I've got a tray of things to experiment with. I've got a stack of card that I'm going to be putting embossing ink and embossing powder on, and lots of things to apply that ink with. These bits of card are just smooth white card, they're offcuts from another project. What I'll do when I've done my experimenting is I will punch a little hole and add them to a ring and keep them as a little embossing library. So technique number one is to use a brayer to add embossing ink to your card. This is a great way of quickly covering a piece of card in a nice smooth layer of embossing ink. So I've loaded up my brayer with ink from an ink pad and I'm going to run that over this bit of card, and I'm going to do that maybe 2 or 3 times just to ensure that I've got good coverage. I'll start at this end this time. So pop my card on my powder catcher and I'm going to sprinkle over this a dappled pink embossing powder from Wow. So that's now covered in embossing powder. I'm going to heat it from underneath with my heat tool, same way as I did in the last video. So there we have a really beautiful heat embossed bit of card. Obviously there's going to be a bit missing here where I was gripping it with this, but if that's a problem for what you're doing, just make your bit of card slightly larger than you want and then you can just cut that off. So that's cooled and set now, and on the back I can write brayer. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there's a bit of scorching there on the card, and that's where I held the heat tool a bit too close, so try to avoid that. Our next technique is to use a brush to apply our embossing ink, and I find the easiest way of doing this is having some embossing ink on your mat and picking it up with a brush. You can get embossing ink re-inkers and you can put a little bit on your mat. Ranger do this Emboss It dabber, which has a little sponge applicator. You can squeeze a bit out. Quite often what I'll do is I'll just take this off and tap a little bit out onto my glass mat. Alternatively, you can get glycerin. This is vegetable glycerin and it's basically an embossing ink. I mean, it's useful for all sorts of things. Use it in cooking, I think. You can use it to refresh coloured ink pads. But what I've done with my glycerin is I put some in a nail polish bottle, and so I can use the brush to add some glycerin to my card. Absorbency of your card does matter, I find. If you've got very absorbent cardstock, it might soak in quite quickly and therefore not be sticky. But you can use something like that, or you can put some on your mat and pick it up with a regular paintbrush and brush it on. I didn't treat this with anti-static powder, so there's a little bit of extra embossing powder here or there, but as it's an experiment, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to heat this with my heat tool. So there we've got some lovely gold heat embossing on top of brush strokes. Down here we've got more of a dry brushed effect because I didn't have as much embossing ink on the brush. Up here, this is the nail polish brush. It's worth playing around when using something like glycerin and a brush to work out the right amount that you want on your brush. Sometimes if you put too much on, the embossing powder can end up kind of swimming around on top of the glycerin and not actually stick to the paper. So get some scraps of paper and just have a play and work out what works for you. Okay, I am going to remember to treat this with anti-static powder. Next we're going to use the Ranger Emboss It dabber. Now I have accidentally squeezed this too hard once before and the lid shot off and I ended up with the ink absolutely everywhere. So I'm being careful. I'm just trying to prime the sponge a bit so that we do actually get some ink coming out. It's very, very thick ink, this. So you could use it to make some circle shapes. You can make some solid circle shapes. You can swipe it. Might be useful with stencils. I've not had much luck with stencils, and to be quite honest, I really just use it for the ink that's inside. So this embossing powder is Cosmic Shimmer Bright Gold Detail, if I remember correctly. So it does pick up fine lines quite well. You can get quite a nice textured look with this, and these are fun little circles that you could add to a piece of mixed media. For my next technique, I've just got some Versamark re-inker there. For no other reason than I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And I'm going to pick up some of that re-inker with my glue dotter. There is a video on how to make a glue dotter, but I'm not using it for glue today. I'm using it for embossing ink. You can press it down with embossing ink on it, just like you would with glue. And that gives you some quite grungy, fun, distressed looking dots in a rectangle that again would look great on some mixed media. Right, we're on to technique number 5 now, and that is to apply embossing ink using an embossing folder. So I've treated my card and my folder with anti-static powder. I'm going to give them both a little huff, get rid of any excess powder. And now I'm going to put some embossing ink on my mat again and ink up my brayer and run it along my embossing folder. Using the brayer to ink up an embossing folder stops you getting ink in the dips. Unless, of course, you want ink in the dips, then apply it however you like. So now I'm going to put my embossing folder on my cutting mat. Place that in there carefully. Once it's down, it's down. I don't want it to move. Close that and run that through my die cutting machine. So hopefully that will have transferred the pattern and the ink. And as you can see, we've got embossing powder stuck on the background and on this side on the pattern itself. So I'm going to heat this now. So there you go, a lovely, slightly distressed looking embossed pattern. Some embossing folders will work better than others. And for card making, you'll probably only need one side, not both sides heat embossed. But I wanted to show you both so that you can see how it turns out. Another way to add embossing ink is to use embossing pens. These are Zig embossing pens and they have blue embossing ink, so it's quite helpful. You can see where you've written. This one is the writer. It's got a big bullet tip and a small bullet tip. This one is the scroll and brush. So this is the scroll. It's got a kind of a nick out of the middle of it. And the brush, so that would be good for a bit of brush lettering. This one is the calligraphy, so it's kind of chisel tipped. And this is a Nouveau Clear Mark pen. I think while I've got this brush pen out, I'll give some brush lettering a go. So that's come out really well, very pleased with that. So I've put some of the glycerin in this fine tipped bottle, and you could use this to do some thin lines. I have found that card absorbency really does matter. If it absorbs the glycerin too fast, you won't get the powder to stick. And if it's too proud, if it's standing up too much, you can smudge the ink or the glycerin by dipping it in the embossing powder. So it's actually better, I find, to sprinkle with this. What can happen is if you've put a lot of glycerin down, it can seep out from underneath the embossing and create a little bit of a ring around the embossing. But again, this is an experiment. You need to try it with different papers. You could try it with embossing ink or glycerin and see what works best for you. Right, we're on to number 8, found objects. So you can ink up anything really. I've got the lid of a glue stick. I'm going to dab it on my ink pad and apply it. I've got the lid of a pen. I'd love to find a bit of bubble wrap to do this with, but I can't find any in my house anywhere. I don't know where it's all gone. But bubble wrap you could ink up and smoosh down. I was wondering about inking up a bit of string, and I've got some embossing ink or glycerin here that I'm going to brush on. Or let's see if I can do this a more efficient way. Might be a bit more sticky finger way. So just pop some glycerin on there, like that. Lay it down on there, give it a press, dip it in the powder. So we've got a stringy mark there. If you had a really textural, chunky bit of twine or something, you could probably print that kind of textural pattern in a similar fashion. So have a rummage around your craft room, your kitchen, your bathroom, your office, and find some things that you can add a bit of embossing ink to and press it down and see what kind of patterns you can get. While I've got my ink pad handy, you can add ink along the edges by pressing your cardstock down into your ink pad a bit. So now I've got some embossing powder all the way around the edge, and I'm going to heat that. And that's a lovely, elegant way of adding a gold or gilded edge to a bit of card or paper. Another way of using your ink pad is just to gently swipe it over some textured cardstock. This is linen textured. I'm not pressing down at all. I'm literally just glancing that across the top of the paper. And I think that's a really gorgeous, distressed, grungy, gold linen textured look. And of course you don't just have to use linen textured card. You could use card that you've embossed with an embossing folder or hammered textured card. The world's your oyster, really. Another tool you can use is a roller ball. Now I think Wow sell a roller ball filled with their embossing ink. I think it's meant to re-ink ink pads with. But I've put glycerin in this roller ball bottle that I got from Amazon, and you can just roll a pattern, straight lines, curvy lines, rolly lines, whatever you like. Again, experiment with different cardstocks to see which one will give you the best result, the best absorbency for your ink or glycerin, whatever you're using. And there you go, rollable. I think we're on to technique 12 now. I'm going to put some glycerin on my mat like that, because what I want to do is pick it up with my smoosher. If you want to know how to make a smoosher, I do have a video all about that linked below. Actually, I'm going to use a bigger bit of card for this. This is just a scrap of hammered textured white card. So I've got my smoosher covered in my glycerin or embossing ink, and I can smush that on. I'm just going to do it in 3 places. Whoops. And I'll just use a baby wipe to get the ink off there. Now we've got some nice smushed blobs. Sponges are another good way of applying embossing ink. I've put some re-inker there, and I've got a ink blending sponge applicator thing here. And you can swipe with these, you can just press with these, you can blend with these. So there's your sponged ink. I know we did stamping yesterday, but to make this as comprehensive as possible, I'm going to include stamping in this list. Just got a silicone stamp that says always. I'm going to ink it up, stamp it down, and then heat emboss it. If you want more detail about stamping and heat embossing, then check out the previous video in this series. Our last technique for today is to use a stencil. You can put embossing ink through a stencil using a sponge dauber like this, or a blending brush like this. So I'd pick up some ink from this pad and blend it through, or I'd use a sponge dauber that's got some re-inker on it. I wouldn't wash this out, I'd just leave it as it is with my embossing equipment. I think this actually had some white pigment ink on it, so that's gone through the stencil. So looking at this, the sponge dauber actually gave me a really beautiful crisp stenciled image. The brush was a bit more splurgy. I think it had a lot of ink on it and it went under the stencil. And I do tend to prefer to use a sponge dauber when applying embossing ink through a stencil. And there you go, that is 15 different ways of adding embossing ink to cardstock and then heat embossing. I've punched a hole in the top of each of these and held them together with a ring. This is going to go in here with my embossing powders and my embossing powder swatches. On the found items one, on the back of it, I've put other ideas and bubble wrap. So when I have an idea of something that I'd like to try using for adding embossing ink, I can write it down there and it will be there for future reference. And on the back of the stamping tag, I've started a list of ideas of other things other than shop bought stamps that I can stamp with. Right, I think that will do for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you plenty of ideas. If you have any other ways that you've used to add embossing ink to your projects, then do leave a comment and let us know, because the more ideas the merrier. Right, I hope to see you back here very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.